But first, a High Court jury has just found 5 men guilty of an Auckland woman's kidnapping and manslaughter. Jindara Putsuriporn died from head injuries in March last year after she threw herself from the boot of a moving car while bound and gagged. The jury took nearly 2 days to reach the guilty verdicts for kidnapping and causing the death of Ms. Putsuriporn by threats or fear of violence. Another man who was charged with kidnapping has been cleared. Detective Senior Sergeant Sean Vickers, who was in charge of the operation, spoke to media outside the High Court in Auckland a short time ago.
At this time I can say that the police and family of Jindarat are very pleased with the verdicts that were delivered today. I can say that it's been a very long and complex investigation for the investigation team and a very long trial. Due to sentencing coming up within the next month, there'll be no further comment from police at this time. But I can say that we are continuing to work with Jindarat's family and associates to support them through the process.
Our reporter Sarah Robson was in court for the verdict and joins us now. Hi Sarah, this was a complex case, wasn't it?
That's right, John. This was a 10-week trial involving 6 defendants. Now, the jury heard from over 100 witnesses during that time, and they had to consider around 2,000 pages of evidence, so that's a lot of material to go through. And so it took them nearly 2 days, as you said before, to reach this afternoon's verdicts, and those verdicts were delivered about an hour and a half ago here at the High Court in Auckland.
And what was the reaction? What happened when the verdicts were delivered?
So the jury delivered unanimous verdicts on the 5 men who were facing both manslaughter and kidnapping charges. Now, the courtroom itself was very quiet as they were read out, and there was no emotion from those defendants. However, the 6th man, Tevita Fangupo, who was facing just a kidnapping charge, the jury reached a majority verdict on that one, and he was found not guilty of kidnapping. Now, he actually thanked the jury and the judge, and he's now walked free. Now, as you heard before, police outside the court, they're not saying that much at this stage. They'll be saying more about the sentencing after the sentencing, and as Sean Vickers said earlier, you know, they are continuing to offer support to Ms. Putsuriporn's family.
Yes, the circumstances in which she came to be on the road in Papatoetoe, bound and gagged, were highly unusual to say the least, Sarah.
That's right. Now, this all happened in March last year. Now, Ms. Putsuriporn was actually seen by about 4 witnesses tumbling from the boot of the car in Papatoetoe. She was bound and gagged and had a serious head injury. Now, she didn't die immediately. She died not long after in hospital. Now, it took the police some time to identify her. They actually released a picture of a tattoo that she had. Now, it was actually in May last year when the police finally laid charges against a number of people who they believed were responsible. So the 5 men who were found guilty today will be sentenced late next month alongside five others who earlier pleaded guilty to similar manslaughter and kidnapping charges.
Sarah Robson, live from the High Court. Thank you very much indeed. So just to recap on that, the verdicts came in a short time ago. A High Court jury has found 5 men guilty of kidnapping and manslaughter, and a 6th man who was charged with kidnapping cleared by a majority decision of the jury.